I'm willing to put my cards on the table and admit to the fact that I have watched every single season of Top Chef, several of them more than once, and it's pretty stupid. For those uninitiated, Top Chef is the creme de la creme of cooking reality shows, where up-and-coming chefs compete against one another in a series of challenges and are judged by a panel of culinary experts. At the end of each episode, one chef is eliminated until the one left standing is crowned Top Chef. And all of it, the wannabe culinary rock stars, the challenges, the drama, it's all stupid. At least if you hold it up to a certain light. And all it took for me to see that light was to drive from one end of this great country to the other. See, I recently moved, like so recently that I'm still surrounded by unopened boxes. The plan was a 4-day drive, Washington to Montana, Montana to South Dakota, South Dakota to Missouri, Missouri to Arkansas. Simple, easy. What could possibly go wrong? So we've got everything we own loaded into a truck, a tank full of gas and a belly full of coffee. Let's blow this popsicle stand. It's a little more than 2 hours in and we've come to a stop. We are somewhere on I-90 in eastern Idaho and are stuck in traffic that hasn't just slowed down. It is at a complete standstill. We are still in the exact same position. No movement. It's 104 degrees out and we're in a valley, meaning there is no reception on our phones. Even the AM radio isn't picking up much, so we can't even find out just what the heck is going on wherever this seemingly endless line of cars ends. It could be a really bad accident that they're clearing and will be moving again soon, or a Chinese nuclear missile strike and the whole country has descended into its state of savage primacy. Both seem equally likely. Restlessness and agitation are starting to settle in. Some people have gotten out of their cars and are just meandering along the highway to look forward and backward at the lines of cars that continue into perpetuity. Some kind locals show up and start going from car to car, passing out bottles of water. God bless them. I have peed into a coffee cup. I tried to conceal myself between open car doors, but an old lady watched me. Not saw me, watched me. Congratulations, ma'am. We received word from a shirtless guy in a cowboy hat. An SUV hit an 18-wheeler and they both flipped, careened off the road, and burst into flames to set the surrounding forest on fire. From the site of the accident, traffic is backed up more than 20 miles in either direction. Somehow I didn't even notice that I was absolutely roasting my arm by resting it in the window for hours. It is so stinking hot. After seeing some cars trickle through from the opposite direction, we begin finally, slowly moving forward, little by little. We soon pass by 3 tow trucks, one which is hauling the charred remains of the SUV, and 2 that were hauling the torched wreckage of the 18-wheeler. I remember thinking to myself that I am lucky in the ways in which I am unlucky. Maybe if the pack-out the day before had gone smoother, we would have left earlier and been involved in this whole mess in ways I'd rather not imagine. Some people died here today, and some other people received phone calls that I can't even fathom. We finally reach the scene of the accident and, mercifully, are waved through by some hard-working men decked out in orange. It's over. 6 hours in 100-plus degree weather, stuck standing still on I-90, the only road to get to where we are going. And it's over. As we make our escape, we pass by miles and miles of people still waiting for their turn. Some of them had gotten out of their cars, formed tiny communities, and were barbecuing right there on the highway. They wave to us and smile, for we are beacons of hope, signs of a better future for them. We gaze back with looks of survivor's guilt. Getting further and further from this madness and watching the sun begin to dip below the mountainous skyline, the moment is bittersweet for us, because our reward for all of that is that ahead of us we still have 7 hours of driving to the hotel room that we already paid for. We've arrived, not at our destination, but the destination for this story. I'm not going to detail every hour of our 4-day trip across the country, apart from mentioning that the Holiday Inn near the airport in Kansas City, Missouri, is far and away the shittiest hotel on the planet. I mean, the employees there genuinely seem invested in you having the worst day of your life. No, the point is that after a few hours on the road again, a few hours of marveling at being in a vehicle that's actually moving, we realized that we hadn't eaten anything that day and stopped at a Love's truck stop somewhere in the middle of Montana. After filling up, I went inside and spotted a case which read, "Breakfast Tacos." I opened it, grabbed 3 of them. They were steak fajita tacos that I got from a truck stop in Montana. They were breakfast tacos purchased at 9 o'clock at night from a gas station. And they were the best goddamn thing I ever ate in my life. I cannot begin to describe the pure feelings of ecstasy as I scarfed these things down. These tacos filled with steak and cheese. The realization that I had is that fundamentally food is greater than the sum of its parts. When you eat something, there is a secret ingredient that you almost never think about, but it is always there. Context. When you think back to something a family member made with a special sort of fondness, maybe it was made by your grandmother or your parents, the reverence you have isn't for the food itself, but for the memory of eating it, the context surrounding it being served to you. Nothing about the dish itself is even remotely special. It was only special because someone who loves you and was intimately involved in the formation of you, shaping who you are and the person you would become, they made it for you to enjoy. And every time you eat something, there is context. Whether it's some drive-thru you grabbed on an uneventful Tuesday that you consumed and forgot, or the gas station tacos you had at the end of one of the single worst days of your life that tasted better than anything you could imagine because you were so unbelievably hot, starved, and exhausted that you would give anything edible a Michelin star. And context is something that chefs can never replicate. No matter how many single-leaf petals they tweezer, no matter what they smear across a plate, and no matter how they blend cuisines in a way no one ever thought before. At a certain point, being a chef just seems silly, because regardless of what you do, how creative, skilled, or inventive you are hopelessly outmatched by context. And the thought of some judges seated at a table in Napa Valley with freshly pressed white tablecloths, gushing over a kimchi vinaigrette or some other such nonsense, seems ridiculous when you consider that on any given day, the best chef in the world can get their ass handed to them by some gas station tacos.